Dove Cameron is definitely one of the people who is currently making power moves in the entertainment industry. We know that she's very successful, but many people don't know how it all began. Well, Riveted has all the details about how she rose to fame. Dove Cameron was born in Seattle, Washington as Chloe Celeste Hosterman. She grew up in Bainbridge Island, where she first began acting when she was around 8 years old in community theater at Bainbridge Performing Arts. In 2007, Cameron portrayed the role of young Cosette in the Bainbridge Performing Arts stage production of Les Mis. And in 2008, she had the lead role of Mary in The Secret Garden, again with the BPA. Dove has said in multiple interviews that her openness and willingness to engage candidly with her fans is inextricably connected to having to grapple with mortality at a young age after her best friend was killed by her father in a murder-suicide when she was just 8 years old. 7 years later, when Dove was 15, her closeted father took his own life, and that led to her name change. When her dad died, she changed her name to Dove to honor him because he always called her Dove. The death in 2011 greatly affected Dove Cameron, who had just started an acting career, and the young star began living an extraordinary double life. On the outside, she looked like a very optimistic, bubbly person, but inside, she was a mess. After her dad died, Dove moved with her family to Los Angeles, where she attended Burbank High School. During this period, she sang in the choir and began pursuing an acting career. Dove stated that she was bullied through her entire school experience, starting in 5th grade. She didn't have friends in school, and the loneliness also affected her, even though she didn't realize it at the time. Dove always says that she was very weird when she was younger. Most of the time, she wore costumes to school and once asked her mom to cut her hair so that her classmates would think she was a boy. While in school, some girls always tried to trip her as she walked down the hallways, and another lot locked her in the janitor's closet. One time, a girl in her school purposely spilled a drink on a dress Dove had spent her resources and time making. The worst scenario was when a bunch of girls carried razors on a school trip to shave their legs and threw them at Dove and told her to kill herself. Regardless of the bullying at school, she stayed focused on her dreams of becoming successful in entertainment. Auditions were obviously hectic, and sometimes Dove felt like giving up, but she always knew she would be happy as a performer. Luckily, she tried her luck with Disney, and her talent spoke for her. In 2012, Cameron was cast in a Disney Channel series called Bits and Pieces as Alana. Shortly after filming the pilot, Bits and Pieces was retooled into Liv and Maddie and saw Cameron starring in the dual lead role of Liv and Maddie Rooney. The pilot episode gained 5.8 million viewers, which was the most watched in total viewers in 2.5 years since the series Shake It Up. Disney Channel renewed Liv and Maddie for a 13-episode second season slated to premiere in fall of 2014, which was later expanded to 24 episodes. Once she landed the breakout role on Liv and Maddie, Dove began having panic attacks. The stress of processing her dad's death while being in front of the cameras was just too much for her to handle. Dove opened up about her experience, especially while filming Liv and Maddie, and in one of the interviews, she said, "It was a long period of time where I was really struggling with the energy and the workload and shooting everything twice, then recording on the weekends and still sleeping and having a social life." At one point, she told her mother that it was too much for her to handle and she wanted to quit. Somehow, she still managed to persevere, and the series went on for 4 seasons, which is very rare with Disney projects. Around the same time, Dove also started to sing professionally. On August 27, 2013, she released a cover of On Top of the World by Imagine Dragons as a promotional single. Her cover peaked on the Billboard Kid Digital Song Chart at 17 and spent 3 weeks on the chart. The same year in October, Dove Cameron released Better in Stereo under Walt Disney Records. Better in Stereo made its debut on the Billboard Kid Digital Songs Chart at number 21 before peaking at number 1, becoming Cameron's first number 1 hit. In February 2014, Cameron confirmed reports that recording had begun for her debut studio album, and her next single, Count Me In, was released on June 3, 2014. The song also peaked at number 1 on the Billboard Kids Digital Songs Chart. Dove Cameron then starred in the television film Descendants, which premiered on July 31, 2015 as Mao, and she skyrocketed further to fame. The film was viewed by 6.6 million people and spawned Cameron's 2 first Billboard Hot 100 songs, Rotten to the Core at number 38, and a solo song, If Only, at number 94. The soundtrack for Descendants also peaked atop the Billboard 200 chart, becoming the first soundtrack from a Disney Channel original movie since High School Musical 2 to do so. Around that time, she was also dating Ryan McCartan, whom she had met on Liv and Maddie. In a now-deleted YouTube video, Ryan explained in detail how he and Dove got close during their time on the show. He explained that they first met during the audition process, and there was an instant spark, and their first date was one of the most romantic experiences. Dove and Ryan McCartan formed a band called The Girl and the Dreamcatcher in 2015. In October, they released their first single, Written in the Stars. Then the band released their second single, Glowing in the Dark, in January of 2016. The Girl and the Dreamcatcher then released their third single, Someone Like You, on April 8, 2016. They released their fourth single, Make You Say, on June 17, 2016, Make You Stay. And on July 29, 2016, the band released their first EP, Negatives, featuring their singles Make You Stay and Glowing in the Dark, and 4 new songs. Unfortunately, McCartan and Dove Cameron announced their split on October 5, 2016, just 4 months after getting engaged. Ryan made it clear Dove was the one who ended things, tweeting at the time, "Dove has decided this relationship isn't what she wants. We still love each other very much. Please be sensitive, as this is painful." Dove wanted everyone to know that she was hurting too and that she still had nothing but love for her ex. Ryan then appeared on the Allegedly with Theo Vaughn and Matthew Cool Weiss podcast, where he spilled about how hard the breakup was for him, but that things were okay between them. Dove Cameron went on and played the role of Amber Von Tussle in the NBC Live TV presentation of Hairspray Live, which aired in December of 2016. The reception was generally positive, and Cameron's performance was praised. She then played the role of Sophie in the Hollywood Bowl live production of Mamma Mia. Later, she was cast in the Netflix film Dumplin' alongside Jennifer Aniston, and in December of 2017, Dove was cast in an animated Marvel project, Marvel Rising, as the voice of Gwen Stacy, Ghost Spider. Dove also reprised her role as Mal in Descendants 2 in 2017. The Descendants 2 soundtrack debuted at number 6 on the Billboard 200, with its Going Down from the soundtrack debuting at number 81, making it Dove Cameron's third Hot 100 entry, following Rotten to the Core and If Only. While filming Descendants 2, Dove met Thomas Dougherty, who, according to Dove, has been her rock through the difficulties of navigating fame. After shedding her Disney days, Dove announced that she was finally ready to release her own songs. In early 2018, she announced that she had signed with Columbia's Disruptor Records label and that she would begin to release music following the release of Descendants 3. After a rather long wait, Cameron released her debut extended play, Bloodshot and Waste. For both, Cameron wanted to approach stereotypical coming-of-age feelings from fresh angles. She described Waste as one of her absolute favorites, and she wanted to step away from the melty, dripping, sappy love songs she tends to loathe. But the song was clearly inspired by Thomas Dougherty. Bloodshot, on the other hand, is about heartbreak, but Dove Cameron said it had nothing to do with her ex-boyfriend Ryan. Then on November 1st, 2019, she released her follow-up single, So Good. Dove continued her focus on music by releasing singles Out of Touch and Remember Me, the latter of which features American rapper Bia. Dove Cameron is currently one of the most famous people, but the journey has been far from easy. She admitted on her Twitter that everything she went through as a child gave her anxiety. However, she did not resort to medication and opted to power through her disorder. She often says that she intends to use her platform to help other people struggling with anxiety. She still has it every once in a while, but Dove currently knows how to deal with the disorder. While she's in a much better place these days, she also admitted to feeling down about her appearance in the past. When Tiger Beat asked her in 2016 if she always felt confident going makeup-free, her response was, "Definitely not. I wore a lot of makeup during school." She loved to experiment with makeup like many other girls, but Dove also used makeup to cover up how she really felt inside. In an interview with She Knows, the actress also spoke about being too much of a people pleaser at one point in her life. She struggled with trying to be a different person in different crowds. She was a different person in school from who she was with her family, friends, and fans. With time, she realized that it's not always about how people look on the outside, and she started appreciating herself. Dove also had such a bad case of anorexia, and she was deep down in a hole. She wasn't eating for days sometimes. It was because she thought she needed to be absolutely tiny in order to be loved. She genuinely thought she needed to be as skinny as possible in order to be loved and appreciated. The former Disney star admitted being in the spotlight in her teens affected her mental health, and her fragile nature left her experiencing a lot of ups and downs. Struggling to maintain that squeaky clean image created an insurmountable amount of pressure for her due to the incredibly toxic celebrity culture that seemingly demands stars to be perfect. However, Thomas has always supported Dove's milestones, and he's never intimidated by the award-winning girlfriend. When Cameron announced that she was releasing a song, Thomas was her #1 supporter. Dove even shared a video of Thomas having a drink and singing along to the song before it was released. When she was going through a phase of depression and anorexia, Thomas was her rock, and she's forever grateful that he never left her when she was at her worst. Well, nothing will stop Dove Cameron from pursuing her dreams even further. She was cast in Vengeance, an American horror thriller film written and directed by B.J. Novak in his directorial debut. In the show, a radio host from New York City attempts to solve the murder of his girlfriend and travels down south to investigate the circumstances of her death and discover what happened to her. Vengeance also stars Novak, Issa Rae, Ashton Kutcher, and Boyd Holbrook. Jason Blum serves also as a producer under his Blumhouse production banner. Dove will also co-star opposite R.J. Mitt from Breaking Bad in Isaac, a psychological thriller that is not finished filming. Josh Weber is at the helm, directing from a script he co-wrote with Christopher Neal. The story follows Isaac, who meets a friendly waitress, Cassie, one night at a diner, and the pair set out to commit a revenge murder together in the name of love. Dove also has amazing music lined up for us, and we can't wait. To keep up with Dove Cameron and other celebrities, subscribe to Riveted and turn on the notification bell, because we publish amazing videos daily.